Okay, good morning. Here's a little overview of my modified container. I got a spray foamer coming here this morning. This was all done by using the bracketry from Container Modification World. These are their latest generation kind of polymer ones that avoid the thermal bridging. I've learned a lot from this project. Have another container, a brand new one, a one trip, whatever you want to call it, and I will do a few things differently. This is probably, you can see up here, this bracket here is loaded. So you have the top, and then I got that polymer bracket. That polymer bracket actually has a notch in it that'll hold that roof stud up there. I was gone on fire. A lot of you know I'm a wildland firefighter, so my neighbors and wife, they put this together. Not all of them landed on the right measurement, but it is plenty strong. None of this is structural. So my wife was able to do this basically, majority of this on her own, this framing. So it can be done by a DIY person who's never done construction. So there you go. I did something a little different. I don't recommend this at all, but I had all these used windows given to me, and we framed these, or we cut them out. We cut out huge holes, and then we put wood, which you shouldn't do because this wood potentially could draw moisture in and rot, but we did it anyway. These have roofing screws with the rubber washers screwed into them from the outside, and then these old windows are then screwed into the side. Not the recommended way, but that's how we did it. Everything's wired. These boxes work great. Make sure you flip your roof studs facing each other, and then those just jam in there and screw in easily. This is their corner bracket, corner piece. It's kind of strange, but it seemed to work as they said. The instructions were so-so. It's really easy to call them though on the phone, and they pick up right away and get a lot of questions answered. I called them many different times. I do have dead corners on this side, which I don't like, but I'm gonna deal with it. I think the spray foam will fill that in, and I'll carve it to fit. You see the bottom track that the studs go in. See, I use those cabinet screws to hold it all down. It's really strong. So this is off grid, and I got all these covered because I'm gonna get foam in, but I got outlets on a 20 amp breaker. And I'm going to then, here's a quick view of the Container Modification World system inside this old Connex. I'm gonna have this spray foamed here in a few minutes. You can see their brackets up there. Those are their latest generation, so there's no thermal bridging. It's kind of an overview. Did mine a little different. Had to frame in these used windows that I had. Not the recommended way, but this is the way that I did it. We had these big windows, so we put in these 2x4s and then screwed them from the outside with the waterproof roofing screws. Okay, so I did some plumbing in here. Got several different pieces of plumbing for off-grid. As you can see, that's the vent pipe for the composting toilet. That's the drain. That'll be where our sink is. This back here is not how they sell the product, but I framed off the door and it'll never be used again. Got a top track, I just screwed it in and then put screws in there, those waterproof roofing screws, the heavy duty ones. And then the same thing down there on the floor. I just grabbed that steel, framed it all in. So since this is off grid, all of the lighting is DC 12 volt with RV switches. And then my inverter is going to run one outside plug. And then this yellow Romex is going to power up all of the outlets with the inverter. And then they're gonna foam this all in. Yeah, I can hear the foam truck out there, the contractors. I did put in the sliding glass door with the same system. These are actually a somewhat non-ground contact pressure treat boards, so those could last a little longer. Some things I would recommend: pull up the floor and spray foam down in there. Don't really like that, but kind of the cap of my budget. And then this is where a stovepipe wall thimble will go through, so that doesn't get foamed. Here's their foam setup here. They got quite the trailer. This is nice. They got a big truck.
This your business? No. No, it's
Yeah, this looks good. All right, so here's the final product. It's still kind of echoey in here. See the spray job. So I paid for 2-inch in the wall, 3 in the ceiling. I don't know, I don't do spray foam, but it doesn't look super consistent. Got a lot of little weird pockets and stuff that I need to deal with maybe. Just be aware when you order your spray foam, this cavity here in the corner, as you can see, it needs some work. I'm gonna have to go back through with open cell, high expansion foam, try to touch that up. Yeah, there's probably 2-inch in that corner, but I needed to specify. I wanted them to fill that in a little deeper. I'm gonna go back around and just do a little quality control and try to figure out if there's spots that I need to fill in myself. There's definitely some spots where there's not much going on in there. So I'll hit those kind of places. I put that brace in, and I'm glad I did, because these things really wanted to pop with that foam behind them and twist. I didn't do it on the ceiling. When I do another one of these, I will double brace down each side of the ceiling. All of the steel studs in the ceiling are twisted. I'll still be able to set my sheeting on there just fine, but they did twist. That's the spot where my my thimble, my stovepipe thimble is gonna go through. A lot of the wiring did get encapsulated. There's some of my plumbing for I have one of those composting toilets, and that's the vent pipe for it right there. It's nice and set in there. There's a liquid line right there. There's a little DC 12 volt box that'll run that fan. And then the plumbing for the sink unit I'm gonna put in there. I doubled up on the steel studs in a few places, as you can see. That's where I'm gonna tie my wood framing into. down here, I chose to eliminate the double doors. I highly recommend you do that. The kit from Container Modification World is quite spendy. If you've ever checked it out, it's pretty expensive. If you're gonna use this as a storage unit, insulated storage unit, then you may be successful. And now here again, I got some spots that I wanna touch up. Not happy with that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna be going through when it warms up today and looking for places like that and filling that in. Kind of do a little better job, just really making sure everything got taken care of. Little spots like that. This is around the door, and I just want to make sure it got sealed. The whole point was to have a really good vapor barrier and have things sealed up. So those kind of little spots are making me nervous like that. Spray foam is supposed to be pretty consistent and even application. I've never seen spray foam in person besides what I had done here. So I don't know. I just don't have anything to compare it to, but I will be going through by hand and looking for things to fix and just tidy up by hand. Let's take a look at the temperature. So I got my thermometer in here. I got 40 degrees in the container, no heat. And let me check for what the weather says. Okay, so I got my thermometer here, and the temperature, it says 40 degrees inside here, and then it's 45 degrees outside currently. So that's kind of my temperatures. I imagine when I put some heat in here, it will really retain the heat. So I may do that later tonight or another night with a propane furnace or something like that. So that's kind of the project where I'm at this point. You know, like I was saying, don't use wood on the inside the way I did. I just had to reuse these windows on this project. You can see where I added some mounting surfaces for the sheeting, but I'm sure if you used like some of those PVC trim boards that you can buy at the lumberyard, something non-wood, that would have worked better. Thinking about it, maybe some of that roll down foam you put under your pressure treat onto your concrete stem walls when you're building. Anything you can do to create a barrier between the metal and however you're gonna set your windows. The kit from the Container Modification World is really expensive for what it is, and it still sandwiches 2 layers of metal with rivets and rubber seals between the two inner and outer part of the Connex. So and then when you use the Container Modification World kit, it only allows you to use, there's only 2 window options that go with their kit. And then their door kit mounts basically the same way. It's sandwiched between the 2 layers. You still use caulking to seal stuff up. And then I do kind of like their door kit because instead of using a door frame, the metal kit you buy from them has the hinge, the place built in where you screw the hinges in. So I'm gonna evaluate those and see if I can justify the cost. I got a brand new container sitting out there for my next build. And then I do want to get rid of this this echoing in the floor. I really think pulling up the floor and spray foaming underneath it would have been a good idea. I'll see what kind of insulation, maybe I can screw down some rigid foam insulation onto the floor and then build up from there. There's a lot of ceiling space here. There's a lot of headroom in this thing, so I'm curious, maybe I can, ideally doing a flash and bat system where you put this foam and then put rock wool insulation over it would have been the best and most effective insulation system. Putting the rock wool bats over it and then sheeting. I think I'm only getting about R12 on the wall, maybe 16 on the ceiling with the spray foam. I would like more, and I may screw rigid foam onto the ceiling. I just don't have the space, I don't think, to get the rock wool bats in there. So I may try rigid foam. I'm just gonna kick it around a little bit before I fully commit to sheeting the inside of this thing. All right, well, that's my project. Thanks for watching.